Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining me on this wonderful Sunday. I had to do this. I haven't done this in a while. We're going to be talking about getting into film, and not going to lie, it's looking pretty grim out there, folks, only because the strike is happening and work is very slow. I know I'm currently not working on anything. I am not one of the gifted select few that are out there working on sets right now. And there are more and more shows shutting down. And we're getting pretty close to zero. So thank you for joining me on this live stream. I just want to welcome you to Beyond Film School. If you are new to my channel, I talk all about film and how to get into it and what is going on in the industry at any given time and just giving you education on the film industry. So if you are joining me, please let me know in the chat. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know who you are, where you're from. I welcome all the questions. As always, if you have any questions, this is why I do this. I love when you guys have questions because it's a way for me to connect with you. And honestly, I just love doing this. So, and I know it's always this last minute thing when I decide to do a live stream. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So just want to welcome some people here. I'm just going to go to the chat really quick. Sean Martin, like Obi-Wan Martin, like you are a long-standing live streamer and I appreciate you always being here. Happy Sunday. George, hello, hello. And Bianca, let's see. Bianca is one of my Set PA trainees. She is amazing. I love hanging out with her. I can't wait to work with her on set. And Amanda, she's one of my channel members and she took my online course and I worked with her before. So I just want to welcome you guys here. So if you are joining me, let me know in the chat. So it is like the state, like obviously, and I cannot assume that you know things and you don't know things. So we're just going to spell it out. So WJ, the Writers Guild of America, they are currently on strike right now. Okay. And if you don't know that, I mean, maybe you've been in a forest for a little while, you haven't like opened any news articles, any social media or whatever. And I know everyone's fairly distracted by the Titan, and let's not get into those hilarious TikToks and memes that are involved in the Titan. And it's really tragic that 5 people died underwater, but also $250,000 is also another matter that we're not going to talk about. I'm just going to keep my comments to myself. But if you don't know, the writers have been on strike for about 53 days now. May 2nd was the first day of striking. So it's been a while. There is not a lot of work, but it would be a disservice. Definitely a disservice for me not to tell you the normal, and I say normal because we are not in normal times, right? This strike is definitely halted work around, I mean, it's kind of more than just the US, it's definitely the US and Canada, and also slowing productions around the world as well. So it's not just this isolated incident just in the US, because a lot of the writers are, yes, the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, does not have jurisdiction over different countries, but a lot of the writers do go overseas and like give their scripts over and they take US productions overseas. So that is a whole thing where it's a global impact of what's happening with WGA. So they are on strike. And currently, the update is DGA. They have ratified their contract. Their deal is done. They are not on strike. We are just sitting around here. DGA, I say we because I am a DJ member. We're just sitting pretty right now. We've gotten our deal. We're making a huge deal about it. We love it. Oh my God, it's the best deal ever. And it is pretty historic. From me, I am a new member, I can only say like, yeah, this is a pretty good deal. I like how the AD's day got a little shorter. They addressed a lot of issues around the membership of the DGA because the DGA isn't just directors, it's assistant directors, UPMs, location managers, stage managers, I'm forgetting, there's another acronym I'm forgetting in the DGA, but there's a lot of people that are represented. And with this deal, a lot of deal points involved a lot of different people. So people are very happy about it. And people who have been in the DGA for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years are also saying, wow, this is a pretty big deal as far as when it comes to how great a deal this is, the contract that we got this bargaining session. So directors, ADs, UPMs, we're just sitting pretty, we're just waiting for productions to come back because we got our deal. The SAG Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, they are currently in negotiations with the AMPTP. And if you don't know who the AMPTP is, they are the studios, the companies that are making this content, that are hiring everyone to make this content, right? They're like, not to say the head honchos, but they are the ones that are putting the money. They are the big companies, the corporations, the studios, producers, whatever, right? And the reason why I'm now adding in all the explanations for the acronyms that I'm using is because I feel like I definitely got scolded in a comment, and I don't remember who put that comment out there, but they were like, oh, little tip is you shouldn't assume that your audience knows all these acronyms. So I was like, all right, let me just swallow my pride for a second, and like, yes, maybe I will start to actually explain the acronyms that I use more. So thank you for that, for getting me angry and making me a better YouTuber or content creator or whatever you want to say. So that's why I'm explaining all the acronyms. If you guys know, maybe a new reminder, I don't know. Some people don't even know what AMPTP means. It's like the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Look at that. Yeah, I got it. And the thing is, I know that acronym so well now because I made a video about the AMPTP back when NYC was striking or about to strike, and so many takes of trying to get the AMPTP and trying to get it right so many times. It's just like locked in my brain. So SAG is currently in negotiations with them. Their contract ends July 1st, but there are talks where it's like, oh, they might extend. But an article just came out last night where the president of SAG, Fran Drescher, she's saying like, talks are going pretty good, and this is kind of like the first insight that we got because they have a media blackout. They can't really share a lot of information, but what they are sharing is that it's kind of more on the optimistic front. But I feel like they said the same thing with the writers, so I'm not sure. I'm not going to speculate. I have no idea. We have no idea how this is going to go. Hopefully, we will know by July 1st, but far as the WJ is concerned, people are still on strike and they have not come back to the table. So here's the timeline that I want you guys to think about. It usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks for a writer's room to kind of get in order before they go to pre-production, and then maybe a month from there until they go in production. And they can sometimes condense that period where like, okay, we'll do 3 weeks, a couple of weeks of prep to get the first episode going or what have you, and then they can kind of like roll into production. But then the way it usually works is they usually have 3 or 4 scripts written before a show starts, or there's a little bit of a lead time. So say, for example, a lot of people are saying August is when the strike is going to end. That's okay. So the strike ends in August. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, August 1st is going to be when the strike ends. Now, this is not any type of, we don't know. Like, the reality of the situation is we don't know when the strike is going to end. No one knows. Not even AMPTP or not even WJ. No one knows because they haven't really got back into the room to talk to each other yet. So no one knows when it's. Let me just be clear about that. No one knows when it's going to end. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, my example is August 1st. And a lot of people are saying August, September. We don't know. But let's just say they come back and they go back into writing. They start, going back into certain, writer's room scripts, whatever ideas, and they need about 3-4 weeks to flush out. Sometimes they need to kind of have the overarching story of the whole season. Sometimes they won't. I don't know, but normally that's how it works now. So more and more rooms will open up. It's going to take 4 weeks. So then we get to like September 1st. And then you need a few weeks to prep. You need tech scouts, rewrites, hiring your crew. That's going to take a couple weeks. So then we're getting to October 1st. So I mean, realistically speaking, if I were being really like not cynical or skeptical or whatever, not too negative, but just more on the realistic side, people are not going to get really back to work in the full swing until October, November. And and me just saying that out loud really gives me like a grim outlook of my year. So I can give you the normal ways on how to get into film, but right now it is so cutthroat that there's not a lot going around. But I want to give you the options. I want to say, like, this is what you normally do, and then you can still do this because everything's not dead. Now, this is union scripted television we're talking about, and that is a big chunk of the job market in the film, in the film industry, right? Let's just be clear about that. There are other things that can be shooting, other types of content that are available for you to work on outside of scripted TV and films, okay? So the traditional ways and how you're going to get jobs, and I put this number 1 for a reason. Now, as I'm going through this, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I will address them as best I can, and if As always, if you are a channel member, if you are in any Beyond Film School alum, you will definitely have priority in the questions. So if you have questions about this, definitely let me know, because let's like flush this out. Let's go over this. Let's really like dig deep here. Okay, we're gonna like really dig deep. Your contacts are number one. I got this question the other day. I think it was a comment, and I was asked, I have already broken in, but I'm still looking to go full time. And the first thing I told them, unfortunately, just how this live stream started, was this is a bad time to kind of look forward to full-time work, because they said that they were tired of living this double life, right? Like, I lived a double life in film for, I don't know, goodness me, like 5-6 years trying to build my film career. Okay, like I was working as a day player, as a set PA day player, and I'd have like a string of weeks and weeks of me being on set, but then I'd be on the weekends, I would still be a barista, making those lattes and cappuccinos on the weekends, okay? And because I was just so fearful of not keeping that day, those day player days coming in and me getting week after week, I still kept that job, just because like I don't know when it's gonna end. So I was working 7 days a week, y'all. I was like Monday through Friday. If I had like a really good month, I was working Monday through Friday. I still worked sometimes. So I worked Saturdays, definitely worked always Saturday nights, because no one at that cafe wanted to work Saturday nights. So I had a flexible jobs, and sometimes I would work Sunday mornings too, and then go right back into filming my day player, like right back on set, union day player PA. So I was doing that for quite a while. So some people don't have the persistence to withstand the type of timeline that is going to be given to you when you're starting out in film. A lot of people don't want to, believe that it's going to take that long, but it does. And a lot of people are like, well, I graduated school, then I should be able to get a job. Well, it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. A lot of people have shorter timelines, longer timeline. Everyone is going to have a different timeline. Okay, so when this person told me they're like sick of doing this double life, I was like, yo, that is going to be your life for a hot minute, but also because of the strike, that's definitely not the expectation you should have right now. Because if you're expecting to get full-time work right now when there's like nothing shooting, that is totally not realistic. I'm sorry, point blank period, I have to tell you it's not realistic. You are expecting full-time work when people who have established their careers for 20, 25 years are not working on set right now. So let's just take it back for a second. The expectations, you have to kind of like lower them down, or at least make them more realistic. Your contacts are going to be the one thing, and this is what I told them. People you've worked with before, people you know, people you've worked with in the industry. Now, for people who are just starting out, you need to get around those types of people. And how do you do that, right? Facebook groups. Right? So let's just cross the first one out. If we cross the first one out, we don't have any contacts, you are brand spanking new to the industry, you need to build your circle. You need to build your network. This is where you got to get bold. You got to get audacious. You have to have the audacity. You have to have the bold, like you have to be fearless. You have to be definitely brave enough to put yourself out there. Get outside your comfort zone, get into those Facebook groups, get into those, apply to posts. Even if you think that you are not ready for a certain job, apply. You have no idea what the person is looking for. You may feel characteristics that they're looking for. You may click personality. I'm reading this book on content marketing, or epic contact marketing is what I'm reading right now, because I know shit about marketing. If you don't know something, you read about it and you learn, right? So I'm reading this book on marketing, and one of the things it told me was about, oh God, I totally lost my time. Let's just take a drink. Was, oh goodness, I'm gonna get back to that thought. But there was something in that book that totally reminded me of something I was talking about, this Facebook group. But you want to make sure that personality, yes. So in this book, they talked about like hiring certain people if you want to work with certain marketers or people who are you're trying to build to your team. And chemistry and personality and how you vibe together, and like how you guys both have passion for the same thing will go further than certain skills you have. And this is why I preach soft skills on your resume, because sometimes I will find something in the soft skills that I can resonate with, whereas I don't care if you have all the skills. Sometimes we can train you on certain skills. We can teach you what we need for our company or for our set or whatever. So put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to apply to jobs that you think may be out of your reach. Definitely just go for it. And the Facebook groups that's number 2 for a reason. Like, let me tell you, And a lot of people are like, F Facebook, I'm not on Facebook anymore, metadata, blah, 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 getting hacked, blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, I've gotten so many jobs from Facebook groups more than any other thing on this list except for my contacts. Okay, and there's a reason why it's number 2. And continuously over and over and over again, all the professionals that I talk to, people who have been in the business for 20 years, 15 years, just starting out, people who are script supervisors, assistant directors, producers, they all say when they need to go back and expand their circle and need to find a job, they go to Facebook groups. Every professional I've talked to. And I'm currently in a project right now where I'm interviewing script supervisors. So be on the lookout for that. Not to like plug a thing I'm doing, but like I'm going to have a new video series coming out about script supervisors. And one of the questions I ask is like, any advice you have for those folks who are just coming into the industry and want to be script supervisors? They say be on Facebook groups. All of them have said that so far. And that's how it is. So you may think I'm full of shit, but over and over, myself included, I've lived this experience, and so many professionals out there like Facebook groups. Now, what do you do with Facebook groups? And I feel like some people are like, oh, but you're saying Facebook groups, what about them, right? So what about Facebook groups? And I preach this to my class, my Set PA class. I preach it all the time, as many times as I can, out to the world, because people just don't believe me. When you're on Facebook groups, you want to make sure you're searching for the right groups, like your city, country, city, or whatever, like, okay, Chicago film production. You are searching Chicago film production, and a bunch of groups are going to come up, right? In those groups, a lot of the times they're going to be posting jobs. Could be for a short film, for a commercial, could be B-roll for a documentary, whatever the case may be. They have certain things that are going to be in your area. They may have certain like community challenges or film festival volunteer workshops, trainings, whatever. It's so many things are going to be happening in your area that you just have no idea about. So search your city, wherever it is in the world. Doesn't, because Facebook's all over the world, guys. So wherever you are in the world, your city plus film production or film jobs or film industry or TV and film or whatever. Maybe you're trying to become an editor. They have specific groups for editors that are going to be a community, like a global community in that group. Like there's a group for script supervisors. There's a group for editors. I don't think there's a group for ADs. I haven't even actually looked. I should probably look, but maybe there is. I have no idea. But there's a group for everyone that you're trying to get into, like the profession that you're trying to get into. So I preach this. This is very, very true. And a lot of people think that Facebook is coming down, and I myself definitely included in that group, where we're thinking that Facebook is like on the downslope, but they are not. It is still a place where people get together and form those groups and communities, and that's where jobs are coming from. That's like, that is true. So just want to definitely put it out there that Facebook groups and your contacts are going to be the top 2 ways you're going to get those new opportunities. And I think my first staff job as a set production assistant, as a background PA, was because I answered an ad from one of the ADs. He's actually a friend of mine now, where he was looking for someone for a background runner. I submitted, our background PA, submitted my resume. We were both from like the same area. He went to the same college as me, and I got on the job. And that was like my first staff job. And if I didn't apply, at the moment of applying for that job, did not think that I had what it took. And this is a whole self-worth issue as well. We're going to talk about that stuff later. But I didn't think that I was like, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to get this job, but I'm still going to try. Like, I got out of my comfort zone, and then I got that job. And that job led to the next staff job, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And now I'm an AD in the DGA. Yeah, sorry. It all just leads to where I want to go, right? So Facebook groups are definitely there. Don't be afraid to definitely put yourself out there. Also, make sure you put your notifications on for that group. You want to make sure you're notified when posts go up in that group. Another thing, be one of the first, because you're notified that those posts went up, you want to be the first people to answer those posts that are putting jobs up. If you are there an hour or 2, do you think you're going to be considered? You may, I don't know. They might be looking for someone that's very skilled. I was looking for a second AD one time for Rochester, and man, it was slim pickings. I will say that it was slim pickings. So I was looking for a while, more than an hour, but those lower entry level jobs, and especially if you go in local Zero Heroes, they have like 20,000 members in those groups. You got to be quick. You got to be real, real quick, and make sure you follow directions. Oh my God, I cannot stress this enough, folks. I want you to realize if the person that is posting the job, just realize that that person probably is going to be your boss. They're hiring you, right? If they say, email me at here, email that person there. If they say, comment below, then comment below. If they say, put your resume in my DMs or email, like reach out to me in my DMs, blah, 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 then do that. There have been so many times that people will read the post and say, hiring a gaffer. And then they'll be like, blah, blah, and then put their email, whatever, in the comments. And that's not what they wanted, right? And when I was looking for a second AD, when I posted it in one of these Rochester film groups, like 2% of the people that applied to me followed directions. Did I want you to bother me in my DMs? No. Did I want you to comment below your email, blah, blah, blah? No. What I wanted you to do was email me here your resume. That's all I wanted. Just a quick word about you, email your resume to me. And like 2% of the people that applied followed directions. And because I'm looking for a second AD, now, I don't know, you guys can spell out, I wish we were like talking. I'll definitely get back to the chat. But I think that when you're looking for an assistant director has to have an attention to detail. I need to know that they're paying attention. And if they're not going to pay attention to the post and how I want them to apply for the job, do you think I'm going to hire them? So, moral of the story is just follow the directions of whatever the post is asking for when you're applying to these jobs in Facebook groups. All right. Whew, gotta step off my soapbox here. But man, that gets me fired up just thinking about like just follow directions. Literally just read it over a couple more times before you get real excited and apply. Just read directions. Follow them. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go to the chat real quick because there's things going on. Whew, okay, let's see what we got. Oh my goodness. Hello, Calabasas. Yes, Ruben Harris, you've been here. Yeah, technically I'm here in Beverly Hills now having breakfast. Oh yeah, right. It's like, what is it, like 9 a.m. or something like that? As of today, it's been 54 days. 54 days, thank you very much. 54 days for that. The strike has been happening. And Rebecca, a little trainee AD from Belfast. Love it, love it. We should be wrapped by Thursday on this strike. Oh, Thursday. I mean, here's hoping. Okay, we got some things here. Oh, that's so Amanda, according to deadline negotiations window, was a legal factor for DJ. Yes. Okay, so I want to talk about this real quick because there are so many people who are WGA. They're in the Writers Guild. They're writers. They're real fired up. They're looking for that fair contract, and I think the ignorance here is kind of funny because, like, there's a contractual obligation. Like, we are allotted certain times to negotiate with them. And we went first, right? We went first. They weren't ready to talk to the DGA about what we wanted to talk about. Then we let the WGA go. Then we went again, and then SAG went, right? And the reason why, and people are saying, oh, they used the WGA as leverage. Well, we didn't know the WGA was going to strike. No one knew. I mean, people definitely were suspicious of, but there was no way to know for a fact that a strike would have happened. So people are saying, oh, it was wrong of us to come to a deal and our sister guilds and blah, blah, blah. Like, I understand. Like, and the DGA definitely has come out and said, like, we definitely stand behind the WGA. We want them to have a fair contract, as does everyone in the industry, of course. If you're out there saying that you don't want them to have a fair contract and get paid more and what they deserve, if I'm being honest, what they deserve, because writing is definitely the foundation of all the things you guys are watching. So they should be paid a little bit more as far as I'm concerned. Like, they like were in their brain. The thing was in their brain. They put it on paper and it was made into a real thing. Like, let's be honest, like, deserve more. Right? But then people are mad and upset that we came to a deal, but it's like, it was a good deal that was on the table. And here's what I say. Like, if the DGA emailed me and was like, hey, we want to authorize a strike in solidarity with the WGA, I think that people would be like, what else are the reasons? Like, what else are we giving up? Like, what is the deal that was on the table? It wouldn't get voted for. Our membership would not authorize a strike based on those terms. Just because, oh, we're going to strike because someone else is striking. Like, each guild is different and has different issues. Like, the certain issues that are going to face the WGA, the writers are not going to be the same issues that ADs, directors, and UPMs are facing. So that's why there are different guilds, because we have different issues that affect our membership. So if the DGA came to us and we're like, yeah, we want to strike because they're on strike, that'd be a real tough sell. There has to be more there for us to strike. There has to be a bigger reason. And it's like, well, what other reason is than to get a fair deal for our sister union? And it's like, okay, I understand that, but also like there's got to be something else. Like I understand solidarity and standing with them, but like we have a certain window that we had to negotiate in. Then what? Like this would have just went on forever. I don't know. I'm going to stop talking about this, but okay. But thank you, Amanda, for bringing that up, by the way. Contractual obligations. Also, what is your take on Paramount Plus gradually taking canceled shows away from their platform within the next few days? Do you think it's because of the strike? Okay, so Paramount Plus, I think that what's happening is you're and Amanda, definitely, I would love to keep talking about this. Like, definitely put your opinions in here, because the Paramount Plus is like basically all I'm watching right now. I'm not plugging Paramount Plus, but all I'm saying is I like RuPaul's Drag Race and I do love Survivor. So, and those shows are both on Paramount Plus. And the whole thing with like Netflix adding more money for more viewers is like getting kind of ridiculous. It's that and HBO for me. Paramount Plus, HBO, like totally fine. And then MLB, because I watch baseball all day long. So Paramount Plus, them picking up canceled shows, like I think that is just a smart strategic like a good thing, that not a good thing, but like, first of all, certain companies, when they cancel a show, they're saying that their ratings aren't there and the interest isn't there. But for Paramount to come and say, hey, we're going to rescue you and take you on, we think we have the audience for that. I mean, that keeps that show going, and also it pleases the people who are like, oh, I didn't want this show to end. And also it might be a moneymaker for them, you know, and plus jobs. If I take on the canceled shows, that's fine. I feel like as long as shows keep going, because that directly affects the amount of jobs that are out there in the film market. So I personally don't have something, but Amanda, if you have like articles that you want to share with me about Paramount Plus, like I would love to have them, and you can totally email me them. Let's see. Amber has often been said that you should always have a backup plan. Good for you that you still have a source. Yo, facts. This is okay. And we're definitely going to talk about the backup plan, George. So I thank you for mentioning that. Alyssa Knight, executive producer, Night Studios here. We are hiring for multiple crew sessions, leaning in on those wanting experience in loss. Yo, thank you, Alyssa. Yeah, so we're talking about getting film jobs, and she's offering jobs. So like, that is amazing. First of all, like if you guys get jobs off a live stream, I am more than happy. I'm just like that. I just get like elated. This is amazing. Let's see. We are not closed down and actively filming in the new FBI series. Yeah. So yeah. FBI. Wait, is that the New York show? Because I did not hear about FBI show. I thought they were like, that's network. That's like network stuff that usually come back until July. So I'm actually kind of confused about that. I had someone approach me via backstage about a PA job yesterday. Just waiting for a follow up. Cross your fingers. Yo, good luck. First of all, good luck. And I assume that the scripts that you're using are finished and nothing needs to be changed. Is that correct? Yes. So let's make sure that we're not crossing we're not scabbing, we're not doing anything crazy like that. But if the picket lines come to your show, man, the Teamsters are not going to cross the picket lines. I just want you to know they're not going to cross, and then your show will definitely get shut down. Teamsters are probably the most loyal in the film industry, so like kudos to them. Collectively, like every time that the picketers have come to a certain show, and the Teamsters will not cross that picket line. So, and they've really shut down a lot of shows because of it. I just applied for a job I wouldn't have known about without this chat thing. Yes, see, exactly, Obi-Wan. That's what I'm talking about. Here in LA, I can tell you that the Facebook posted not so well from what I hear back east. Yes. Okay, so that's great, the Ruben, that you're saying that, because at least on the East Coast, it is very, very strong. And what if you guys have any insight about what is happening in your area, I definitely want to welcome anything that you can offer, because this is a community and we're helping each other. And I just want to learn what other areas are doing, what works for your area. So Facebook groups, thank you for saying that. I think the comparison is very, very useful to have, at least for me. I love having that, like how it works in different areas is very, very useful. So the next thing I want to talk about is the apps. Available app on Crew Me Up. Now, I know both these fellas who own these apps, who have created these apps, and Ben from the Available app, he is great. I love talking to him, and it's just a way to kind of put your resume, your profile on an app and hire people, and you can form certain groups, and Crew Me Up does a similar thing, and Josh, who runs Crew Me Up, he is also amazing, and he's really done a great deal of work to make the app better and better, and having like the second version, and you can, that there's groups, you can hire people out there, you have your calendar, your profile, and looking for certain vendors and stuff. So both those apps are definitely useful if you're just starting out, like bare bones just starting out. I definitely recommend both of them. I haven't had any need for them, but also like I am not a fan of using another app. It may be for you, it may not be for you. I definitely encourage you to use them, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. Like I understand, like some people, like I don't want another app on my phone. Like, I already have a bunch of shit on my phone. I don't want another app. And also how I get jobs is mostly from the top two things here, my contacts and my Facebook groups. So I already have a way of getting jobs. And also if you're looking to hire people, that is another way to get people. So it's a way to get jobs, but also the way to hire people as well. So it goes both ways with both those apps. Next thing I'm going to talk about is networking events. And networking events can be a lot of different things. It could be say you are shooting on a show, or say your friend is on a show and then they get together with some film friends and you get together with that friend and they get together on some side thing that they're doing and they go out to dinner or drink whatever and you go, that's a networking event. If you get invited out to rap drinks, that is a networking event. If you go to an actual just film industry networking event there are a lot of events on Eventbrite. You just put film industry and then events will pop up, workshops will pop up, trainings will pop up, and you can join them. Some are free, some are not. Most of them are very low cost, and you're networking. When you are in an atmosphere or a facility or a whatever event that you're doing where you're around people, that is networking. When you talk to someone you do not know or you are with a friend and they introduce you to their friends, that is expanding your circle, and that is networking. Okay? And I hate the word networking, and I'm trying to get more and more comfortable with the word networking, because networking in my brain, when I visualize networking, it's like you have like a center, there's a nucleus, and there's like little things that go off and around, right? So I'm creating a network. And when I think about network, I think about like for some reason the graphic of like the computers and how like the system networking of computers and IT and a company. It's really weird how my brain works sometimes. But when I visualize networking, it's just about, I have connections to different amount of people. I have certain circles in certain areas and whatever, right? I like to call it building relationships, making connections, having relationships, building friendships even. And yes, there are some, now I know there are some projects where I'm like, oh, we're a family. Well, we're not all a family, first of all, but there are going to be people that you work with that you're going to be very attached to very quickly, and you're going to remember for the rest of your life, and you're going to love working with them, you're going to remember them, and then because you are remembered or you remember them, you're going to want to hire them, or they're going to want to hire you. So your networking events is a lot of things. It's not just going to that random event where you don't know anybody. It is helpful to do that. And other types of networking events is going to certain screenings. Maybe you finished a short film 2 years ago. Maybe you finished a feature film 2 years ago and it's finally screening. Go to it, because what happens is you're meeting people that you haven't seen in forever, right? Like maybe the producer goes, maybe the director goes, maybe you like bonded with some other people and you go to the screening and you're like, oh yeah, it was really fun working with them. I haven't seen them since I've worked with them. So you get to reinforce the connection that you have. Remember, out of sight, out of mind. It's very, very, very true. Out of sight, out of mind. So if you're not at the front of their mind, how are they going to hire you? How are they going to remember you to hire you? So when you go to these types of things, you're like reinforcing the relationship that you had. They're going to remember how great you were to work with and all this stuff. And it's going to be like such a magical moment. And they're like, oh my God, yes, I'm working with you again. So, I mean, the people that I worked with on Equalizer Season 2, and that was like, oh my goodness, 2020. So like it's going on 3 years ago when we started that. 3 years ago when we worked on the Equalizer, season 1. Sorry, I think I said season 2. But season 1, the first season of the Equalizer, Ken Latifah, I have a core group of friends that I am fiercely friends with. And when I need to hire people, I think of them. But most of the time they're working, so I can't really work with them, so we have to find time to hang out. But then I can reach out to them for people that they know, and I get their recommendations. So like when we hang out, it's like reinforcing that connection, right? And also, if you think about the networking events that like pop up, you're like, just pop up, put it in the chat. Like more, like this is great that, like that was Alyssa Knight. You're like, oh yeah, we're hiring. Thank you so much. If you can offer anything that like pops into your head about networking events, I welcome that. I welcome all the things. So networking events are very useful. Now, for someone like myself who is, a lot of people are like, Amber, you're not social awkward. Like sometimes I still have that, like I have grown to a certain type of being, right? I'm like, oh, I'm this confident, like funny, talkative, whatever person. And I sometimes find myself looking back to who I was 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, where I was a little bit more quiet, where I felt very uncomfortable, where I felt like no one really notices me. I have this very, very big problem. And if anyone else has this problem, please let me know, because I think it's just a me thing, and it could be very much crazy. So I have this problem every time I go to a DGA event, and I know a number of ADs that are in the DGA. I know like there's like thousands of members, but you know, community in New York is very small, and I see some of the same ADs over and over again. I work with them, they come to events, and I don't know if they remember me, and like also like coming up as a PA, seeing like working with key PAs or other seconds, whatever, and I remember them from years ago, or even from like 2 years ago or something, and I see them, and I just walk around as if I'm incognito, and I'm like this perfect stranger, and no one knows me, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they don't remember me. Like I always have that, where I'm almost positive they have no idea who I am, they don't know, they don't remember, like they have no recollection of me working with them ever, and I always have this problem. But then come to find out later, after I like totally ignore everyone, don't say anything to anybody at certain events, because I'm there for like a meeting or something, that they're like, oh, why didn't Amber say hi? And I'm like, because I just didn't think I was significant enough. So this is definitely a self-worth thing. But also, Alyssa Knight, you mentioned film festivals and film markets. Yes, definitely true. I definitely remember, I briefly mentioned film festivals where you're going to screenings and stuff, but also if you don't have a movie that's screened there, just go anyways. Get in on those, like, they have those, for example, now this is going really big, film festival like Sundance or Tribeca, those are big ones, but they usually have like these industry mixers that are scheduled throughout the film festival. So those are also networking events. So film market for sure, and film markets and film festivals are definitely a networking event, and pretty vital for people who are directors or producers or distributors who are trying to get, you know, trying to get content for their platform and all this stuff. So, but that's a whole other level of things. But yes, those are definitely networking events as well. So I definitely have a problem when it comes to like social anxiety, where like I can hold my own, but I also feel very awkward and sometimes. But at the last meeting, we had a DGA meeting where we have an annual meeting where everyone comes together on the East Coast and we get together in New York, whatever. And I was like, you know, I talk to certain people. I'm like, it's okay, Amber. I'm like, around other ADs who are like my level and above, and I'm like at the bottom of the barrel, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to say hi to people. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to do all the things. I'm like really, really nervous. But I think after putting myself in that uncomfortable position and actually talking to people and actually having a couple drinks actually does help with this. That's why there's alcohol at these things, guys. I'm not condoning drinking or getting drunk, but I'm just saying, like, it does help ease the nerves, I will say. So after like a drink, I was like, all right, I think I'm ready to put myself out there and talk to people and and I actually did. And I said, they have these events. This is really cool. They have these events in the DGA where they have certain panels. And the one panel that I watched was a focus on women, where they had women UPMs, and they talked about being a UPM. And if you don't know what a UPM is, it's a production manager of a film. They pretty much are the ones that follow the numbers, vendors, hire people, all this stuff. They have like control of the office, and not control, but they manage the office and the production on set side. So they do a lot. The UPMs are super vital on a set. And if you have a UPM that's a hot mess, your show is not running smoothly. So I was really interested. So I watched this thing, and then one of the women that were on the panel, I don't remember her name, but I remember her face. She was very, very identifiable, and I saw her in person. I was like, I'm so sorry to interrupt. She was talking to an AD that, funny enough, did not remember working with me, and he worked with me just last year. So I was like, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I just want to say that like, you were amazing on that panel. Thank you for doing that. I think I'm looking up to you as a first AD and a UPM, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh my God, what's your name? And it was like very, very nice. And I was like, I am proud of myself. I talked to a complete stranger. So networking events are very hard for some people, but I think when you put yourself out there and you do the hard work and you get in that uncomfortable position, coming out of it, you're like, I did it. And you feel very accomplished, and someone might remember you, so you never know. So film trainings and workshops are another way, like, and I'm not going to be like, yes, I'm plugging Beyond Film School, but the reason why I created Beyond Film School and my Set PA training is because I need to hire people, and I want to hire people, and I want to give people opportunity. And I was having trouble staffing my shows and staffing the movies I was on, and it was kind of hard to find people that I could rely on. So while, yes, I get to mold the people I want to hire, I get to give them jobs. So trainings and workshops, that's another way of networking. And I tell my Set PA trainees, as soon as they're in that room together, I tell them, this is your first circle. Like, you may have other people, but like people who are just starting out, that is like their first circle. That's their first network in the film industry, where one of them might be on something and then they get hired for another gig and they need someone to fill in. Well, then they can, reach out to one of their, BFS alum. They can reach out to Beyond Film School alum. So that is the first circle. I preach this, and I don't create a community, and I don't really want to create the community where, you're on this channel, you're watching this live stream. I don't want to create the animosity or the competition that a lot of, I guess, the film industry has, where it's like, well, we're competing, there's not many spots, so like, F you, and I'm coming over and I'm going to stomp you out. I don't believe in that at all. I believe that there is enough success for everybody. Not right now, because there's like 3 shows shooting right now. But either way, like I always say, bring people up with you as you succeed. And I definitely have been trying to instill that in everyone I train. And I feel like I'm trying to live it. So definitely, I don't believe in competing, but also like, definitely just helping everyone succeed where they gotta go. Everyone has different goals, and that's the thing I preach. It's like, everyone has different goals. So like, my goal is gonna be way different than your goal. Like me, I want to be a first AD in the DGA. Like right now I'm on the second AD tier, and my AD buddy or my PA buddy next to me, they may want to be a writer. They may want to be a director. They may want to be a producer. Like, I don't want to be a producer. If you become a producer, then if I'm great to you and we're friends and I help you come up, when you're a producer, you can hire me as a first. Just for me, it just makes sense. A lot of people are like, no, that's not how it works. It definitely does work like that. 100%, it definitely does work like that. So trainings, workshops, definitely. The next one, I had this gray hair that's like really bothering me. Gray hair, like I don't mind that my gray hair is coming in, but like honestly, gray hair is like unruly, guys. They just don't follow the commands of all the other hair in your head. I'm sorry, I'm very distracted by my gray hair right now. I'm gonna go to the chat really quick before we jump into short film. All right, what do we got? Oh my God. There's a lot. Okay, Film Festivals, Margaret Amber, given what you have said in some of your videos concerning nitpicks and other issues such as work hours showing up on time. Have you ever considered opening your own production company so that you can address these issues? So I guess I can speak to that, George, because Beyond Film School, in me, I feel like, because now, not to celebrate my own wins or anything, but Beyond Film School this August is going to reach, its 5th anniversary as far as training and workshops and training people. So I'm very happy about that I've come this far. So I feel like the more people I train in the community that I'm building, the more that I'm trying to live this message and pass my message on, the more and more influence it'll have throughout the industry. I don't really I mean, I could see myself doing a production company, but not so much as just making content. A lot of the things that I want to do with Beyond Film School, and I'm doing one of those things this summer, is I created my own film challenge for Beyond Film School, and right now the applications are open for people who are in Beyond Film School, so I'm very, very happy. I have not announced this publicly until just now, so if you're on this live stream and you like, oh my God, Amber's got this film challenge. So yes, I may open it up to other people in the future, but Beyond Film School has always been about providing opportunity and trying to reinforce the message of, not stopping out competition, safety concerns, all these things. So I feel like if I'm training the people who are on the set and not producing content, it's a bit different, if that makes sense. Like, I know what you're saying as far as a production company, if I'm creating content and then I'm running I am the top person running those sets, like that could be in the future for me. I don't know. But also another thing I want to do is like create a monthly film community space where we talk about like scripts and issues, and we have people show their short films and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of things I want to do. And it's funny how more and more I'm getting like, as I achieve more and more, I'm trying to build more and more. And it really is like, I feel like the goals never stop. And I like that. So, thank you. And then turning my short into, that's really great. I had sent a message to Beyond School on that, but I have not received messages, so I do not know if it was, George, let me know where you sent that to. Did you send it to me on the contact, or did you send it to on my website or to my email? Because definitely you'll get a hold of me directly if you just email beyondfilmschool@gmail. That's definitely, and I'll put that in the chat just so you have it. Because sometimes what happens is I get distracted by a lot of the things that I do. I really try to keep track of all the emails that I get, and like answering certain people who have like concerns and advice. Hey Joe, what's going on? We also have an intern program. That is awesome. We don't require you to be a student at the school to apply. Alyssa Knight, that's really, really great, because some people get into, like, people who are changing careers get stuck in that rut where they're starting over and they're like entry level and they want to do internships, but they can't because they have to be a student. So that is definitely great that you don't have that student requirement, because other people are coming into the industry and are not students, so I love that you're doing that. Amanda, next event, Mixer, and I would say this Tuesday. If you want the link, Amber, I'll send it to you. Yeah, Amanda, send it in the chat, actually. I think that's really cool, because some people are definitely in New York. Which event is it? I definitely am interested. Y'all, let me get some water. Okay. Good evening, Joe from the future. All right, so your friend's short film. People who are just starting out, and if you do have that side gig or not, well, your film, when you're day playing in film and you're trying to make film, that's like your side hustle, right? I don't want to say hide. The hustle is like a weird word that we can't say now, but your side gigs, right? And then you have like your normal 9 to 5, or you're working 30 hours a week or whatever. You're like part-time everywhere and like 3 different jobs. I get it. The gig economy is crazy. So offering free time on a friend's short film, you're like, this is going to go nowhere. I'm not going to make, what is this going to do, right? Some people are like, he's making a stupid short film and it doesn't mean anything. But you never know who you'll meet, who their friends are. They might be bigger players. They may know bigger people. You have no idea. And people always discredit someone's short film. And I don't know why, because it's all about making connections around if you get around the people that are in this industry, it is so useful. So I say, if you're trying to help a friend out and you want to work on their short film, why not? You never know what's going to happen. First of all, you're going to get experience. You're going to get on set. You can use those short little projects as lines in your resume. You'll probably get a little credit on IMDb as well. So it helps build. So those little projects that your like little friend is making, like even if it's like a crew of just like the camera person, sound, and like just they're like getting together on the weekend to do something fun, why not? Because if you really want to get into film and you really love film, you'd probably do it. Like, why not just say, yeah, I'm not doing anything on Saturday, why not? Right? So I always say, do not discredit, do not like poo-poo anyone's like, hey, we're just getting together. And I know people who are They just want to get together and they make something because maybe like the union stuff they're working on is just taking too long. They want to make their own content because let me tell you, you will get so bogged down by the number of hours that you are working when you are actually in the industry Monday through Friday working 70 hours, 80 hours a week, sometimes more. It's crazy. You're working more, and then by the time you get to the weekend, you're like, I am so tired and exhausted, but then you're like, I'm a shell of a person of myself, and I haven't done anything fulfilling. Everyone who gets into film is largely creative, and they got into this because they love storytelling. They want to tell stories. They want to tell the perspective of someone that is underserved, or they want to just experience the community and all that. So there's a reason why you've gotten into film. And a lot of the times when we have those union jobs where everyone's like, yes, union jobs, we're getting paid, but also what is it doing for your soul? Like, how is that feeding into the things that you love to create? How is the thing that you're working on, that it's an action show or a TV show, is that speaking to you? Is that really like, first of all, I think there are so many people that are in the industry that are in positions that do see it as just a job, which I don't blame you. I get it. There are so many people who are like, yes, I'm a PA. I don't care. I do a job. That's it. I go home. Or I'm a grip. I'm like an electrician. I'm a prop person, whatever. I go home, blah, blah. But there are so many people I talk to who want to be writers, who want to be producers. They want to share stories and stuff. So like a lot of people who are just shooting something on the weekend are those people who they want to fulfill something. They want to create. They want to be like, they want to make something. So short films, freebies, definitely do it. Now, just to get into film job websites, this is very low on the list for me. Back when film job websites were actually free, I was on those websites. I definitely was. Like, we're on new ones today, like PA Central. Obviously, Mandy has turned into Film and TV Pro. They are charging. Backstage.com has a crew side to it now. So not only are they hiring actors and they do castings, they do the crew. Like, they're hiring crew through Backstage. So definitely hit up Backstage or Stage 32, staffmeup.com. There are so many different websites that you can go to. And actually, Craigslist. Yes. Craigslist is still a thing. I just did a short film a couple weekends ago, and one of the crew was on, and they were one of my trainees, and I was like, oh, hey, I didn't expect to see you here. Like, how'd you get on this show? And he was like, Craigslist. And I was like, what? So people are still using Craigslist to hire crew. Now, just be wary of like all the scams that are out there, because yes, if anyone's asking you to deposit a check, no, that is a scam. We don't do that. If anyone's paying you like a crazy astronomical amount, it's probably a scam. No. So just to put that out there, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. But like, when you have someone that's like saying like, oh, like, give me your physical address and I'll mail you a check, do not do that. Please, Jesus. Okay. So just be mindful of that when you're looking at these film jobs websites. So there's a bunch of them. Production Hub, Production 411. There's so many things out there. And yes, there's like corporate jobs, and when they would have talk shows and reality TV and like documentaries, all of it. So there's so much out there. I used to get hired a lot off Mandy, but then when they started charging, I was like, no, I just don't believe to charge the person who's applying for the job. I hate that. Maybe I'm just old school. I just don't like it. So I don't use job websites. I haven't used one in a very, very, very long time. I know people who swear by them, people who have gotten hired multiple times from them. So if that is for you, it works out, definitely, for sure. There's someone asking about remote film jobs. Okay, remote film jobs. Wait a second. Okay. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Alyssa, you're doing great adding all this value. I love it. You're just like trying to film. Yeah, all the film festivals, like crazy. This is great. I used to be in distribution, so like I know all the film festivals, and I forget that not everyone knows which ones they are and who, like what are out there. Joe, I graduated from film school. Also, Joe, for being a channel member. First of all, if you see it in green, they're a channel member. So yeah, Joe and Amanda, shout out to the channel members. Okay. I graduated from film school in 2009. I worked various small gigs until I got my big break in September. Got to put on that marathon mentality. This is true. And Joe, thank you for saying that, because I think that's very, very true. Some people, and I think hell, since just the start of the boom of social media, people are really kind of looking for that instant gratification where it's like, I'm putting in the work, what am I getting from it? Like, how many times do I have to email? How many times do I have to reach out to people? How many times do I have to remind my friend that that I'm available for work? How many times do I have to? You're going to do it as many times as you need to do it, because it may take 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, 1,000 emails or 1,000 DMs or whatever it takes. It's going to take however long it takes. So, and I think that marathon mentality is very, very good to put out there, Joe, because a lot of people are like, well, I only want to work this hard for this amount to get this job and get in. Well, if you're not willing to work hard to get into film, you're not going to last very long when you're actually in film, because film is going to work you. Film is going to work you. You are going to work many, many hours. You are going to be stressed out. You're going to cry. You're going to scream. You're going to get angry. You're going to be like, huh. I just read a post on crew stories on Facebook group. I love the crew groups on Facebook. I love reading all everyone's stories. And someone was talking about how that they were a second AD, and they had just had a baby. Like, they had twins. They were preemie twins, and they were like 3.5 pounds or something like that. And he got a job because he wasn't working. He went to that job when he had the twins, and then he almost got fired for saying pictures up instead of rehearsals up. I was like, oh my word. This is like the fact that we're in that type of industry is crazy. That like I have to pick a job, and then like I'm saying the one because what he was doing was after he was done with his day on set, he would go to the hospital, spend all the hours with his like kids at the hospital or in the ICU or whatever, the incubator or whatever, and then he'd come back to set with like no sleep, so he was tired. So he said the wrong word when rehearsal was up. He said pictures up, and the director wanted to fire him. He told the first AD that he wanted to fire the second, which I was like, this is fucking crazy. But that's how it was. And that was like, I think back in like 2007 or something like that. And how the industry has changed so much is definitely so much better. But it is hard. So just know that whatever dark side you have, it is going to be magnified when you are in the film industry. If you have not come to terms with your dark side, or who you are as a bad person, or how you manage your bad side or your stressful side, and if you can't do the work to get in, then you're not going to last very long when you're in it. And I'm saying it. And I said it. Sorry, guys. I said what I said. So thank you, Joe, for that comment. Okay. Anonymous benefactor. I've worked on a few independent film projects, but work mainly as a cameraman for live events. Do you think that experience will translate well when trying to get more film positions? So anonymous benefactor, thank you so much for your question. Since it's camera work is definitely different than some other positions, because if you can work, I feel like, and I think this is true for a lot of people who are doing camera work, if you are doing stellar camera work live, you will do even better when it comes to narrative. Okay, so your camera skills will translate. I feel like it definitely does translate. It's just you have to get around the people that are doing narrative, right? So you have to make sure, and this is the argument that people get into of, I'm pigeonholed, right? So you are stuck in this one position. For example, when I was working the DP route, and I was a second AC, a first AC for a while, and I did camera operating for like some pilots and stuff like that, but you are always going to, like, for example, when you're always that position, people only think of you in that position, so they only hire you for that position. And it's kind of the same. So if you're only in reality, it's hard to cross over to the scripted world. So if you're an unscripted, you just have to kind of make sure that you get to know the people that are in narrative. So for you, it's just a matter of like finding the right people. So like if you know DPs, and make sure, like, because what happens is like when a DP gets hired, they usually bring their team on. So they bring on like their camera operators, and their camera operators are going to want certain first and seconds. And first AC is second assistant camera, first assistant camera. So you have to get around the right people that are in those types of types of content, I guess I would say. So reality, live, or whatever, like can translate to that in the camera world. It just has to getting yourself around the people that are in that type of show. So I hope that helps. I don't know. Are there many remote film jobs? Okay, so it depends on the department. Like, for example, CGI, special effects CGI and animation, those can be remote. Most editing jobs are in LA, and that's kind of weird because like you would go and work as an editor in that market, but then the movie was shot somewhere else in the studio somewhere else. So this varies. I don't know very much about that, but I know like a lot of companies are hired out. But as far as like you like working from home, is that what you mean? I just need a little bit more clarity on that, just a little bit. So don't charge, don't pay. Yo, that's for real. I'm just okay. Does a degree matter? I am on my final year studying broadcast production, but did a higher national diploma in film before my degree. So I am a strong advocate that you don't need a film degree. It depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on how many people that you know or how many people that you need to get around. Because most of the time that I speak to anyone who went to film school, it's about what you make of it, right? So it's not that it's a golden ticket, and it's also not that it won't help. It's about how you utilize that opportunity, because film school is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to get with people that want to make stuff, right? And the more you come together and make stuff, the better it gets to you, better it gets for you. We're talking like experience, or we're talking like, when you come together for a film, they'll bring in their friends and their friends. It's all comes back to networking. So a lot of the times people think that, oh, I went to NYU Tisch, so therefore I have it made. Well, not really, because what did you do while you were there? Right? So I think film school is an opportunity. It is something that you can use to your advantage, but it is not a golden ticket, because some people definitely have wasted that opportunity. They go to Tisch, they spend $75,000 a year and do nothing with it. So it's all about whether or not you want to utilize. Because I will say, like, I went to school and I got a media production communications degree, right? That's not exactly film, but I did transfer schools because my first school was like media studies. It was like film theory and all this garbage, basically. And I was like, all right, this is not for me. I need to learn how to use cameras, lights, editing. I want to learn practical film skills and film in the way of just like, I want to learn more about how to make stuff, not just theorize about stuff. So I transferred schools, and that's when I got my media productions. So like I learned how to edit, I learned how to use cameras, I learned how to like do lighting. And I think if it wasn't for that degree, I probably wouldn't be able to be a YouTuber because setting up my own lighting and figuring out my own camera and all this stuff. So that's not exactly a film degree, but I utilize that opportunity. And then the great thing about it is that there were certain professors that were, one of my favorite professors, Meg Knowles, she's like a documentary filmmaker. Not exactly what I was trying to get into, but also she gave me a lot of advice. She was the one that warned me about getting pigeonholed. So like the relationship you build in college or in your film school is going to speak for like you utilizing your opportunities in front of you. And I got on anything I could. So when you're in college, take all the internships, make all the documentaries, make all the commercials, make all the music videos, anything they want you to make all the short films. Do all your stupid mistakes while you're in college, while they're free, and while you're doing it for a grade rather than for like a check, right? So while you're in school, utilizing that opportunity is like definitely what needs to be done for sure. Like utilizing the opportunity, because it is not a golden ticket, but also it is not something that can be it's not something that should be wasted. Do you need it? No, but there's also other ways for you to learn about filmmaking and other ways for you to network. So I don't think it's needed. And I think that was a long answer, but thank you so much for your question. Okay, so it depends. I did agree, got skills, but not much else. Went back to do a broadcast production traineeship in Cary, open doors to workshops, work on a film. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's like, sometimes that film school may not get you to where you think you need to be, but it will be like the step to the next step to the next step. Because I always think that all the little shows I worked on, all the small projects, all the things I worked was like the step to the next one, into the next one, into the next one. And I think I remember like at doing certain things, I would be like, well, I'm not really where I want to be, but like this is kind of a step in the right direction. And I think people are so obsessed with like getting to their main goal so quickly. Like, y'all, we got a long, well, not a long life. Let's say we got a long life, but like what do you expect to be like successful? Like 22? Like, get real. You're like you're only an adult for like 2 years by the time you're 22. Like, you're a baby. Sorry, I'm like talking a lot. Okay, so what is a degree does, okay, so Ruben, I will argue with you with this. Ruben, I will. A degree does matter when you're interviewing. Is a good, better bet that if you jump through the hoops for a degree, the odds are you're going to show up, do what you are supposed to, and follow through. So, okay, so I understand what you're saying. I understand, Ruben, what you're saying, and I definitely thank you for that comment, because here's the thing is that there are reasons why people don't go to film school. There are reasons why people don't go to college. So this is why I will definitely argue this point, and I will debate with you, Ruben. So please get the chat going, because I think it does matter in the way, if you have an opportunity to do it, then yes, if you can afford to do it. And that is the main thing, is that in the United States, it is crazy expensive to go to college. It is not free like it is somewhere in other places of the world, which I wish it was, but it's not. Like, I am still in debt from the cheap college I went to. Okay, so like, let's just talk about that. Poverty is an issue. Education is expensive. So I don't think it's a matter of like what that person is willing or not willing to do. I definitely think that in the interview, I could give a fuck if the person has a degree. And if you do, I'm almost like, okay, so, you know, there are so many people who are like, they're trying, and I feel like they're willing to work harder when they don't have a degree, and especially if they're come forward in that interview, showing their best self, making the effort. It almost speaks more, because I feel like without the degree, it almost seems like the cards are stacked against them. So to me, that means more effort. Sometimes, and I've met over and over people who have gone to film school, and I'm sorry if you have a film degree, I apologize if I'm going to offend you, but I also don't care at the same time. But there is a sense of entitlement that I get for film school grads that I don't get for people who have changed careers, started from the bottom, had no contacts. Like, they feel like they're entitled to get this job. I'm sorry, but your attitude of entitlement is not gonna, I don't care if you went to Columbia. Although everyone that I've worked with at Columbia has actually been pretty dope. So I shouldn't pick on Columbia. So like NYU, like if you've graduated from like Full Sail and all that stuff, like I don't care. That means nothing to me when I'm hiring. Your personality and your skills and what you're willing to show me, that means way more, unfortunately. But also people have their own way of hiring. So I'm sorry, like you can be the most qualified person, but you can be an asshole. I'm sorry, I'm swearing in this live stream. I apologize for that. But if you're an asshole, I want nothing to do with you. So the degree, like, yes, pursuing a degree and actually getting one does show that you have follow through and tenacity and you're willing to put up with certain things. I get that, no problem. But also, like, there are some people who can't go to college. If they can't afford it. And I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you didn't go to college, so therefore you're not qualified for this job. I'm just not here for it. Okay, so sorry, Ruben, I had very strong opinions. Okay, yes, so here's the thing. So, Ruben, you do clarify, degree does not need to be in film. A degree does help. I also sat on a desk in HR with a major. 7 out of 10 times they toss those without degrees, without going through the whole CV. Not good. That's crazy. So, like, I don't do that. And in the film industry, I feel like in some areas that's definitely not a thing. It depends on how corporate they are, and I think that's just so dumb. I think it's just so, the injustice. Like, Jesus. But I think you going through college and you pursuing a degree does give you life experience. And I feel like if someone is older, they've had other jobs, they've had kids, they've been a mom or whatever, there's certain life experience, and I love hiring people who have been in other careers, or they were in the military, or they've done other things than go to college, and they had that life experience, and you can tell they're mature. Like, life experience, yes, a degree does do that. Like, did they spend 3 years traveling? Did they go and study abroad? Not to brag. I mean, I went to Australia, and funny enough, because I went to Australia, a lot of the times when I had interviews, they were like, oh, you studied in Australia? Yes, I put that on my resume because it is a talking point that gets them interested in me. And then we get talking about my time in Australia and not like, oh, can you edit? Yes, I can edit, but they're getting a feel for my personality, right? So I'm just, okay. So, if you want to learn some of the soft skills for the film industry, join the military for a few years. There are a lot of similarities. Unnecessary yelling, hurry up and wait, higher exposure, shameless plug. I mean, not to lie, but the U.S. actually is like a shortage of military recruits, just saying. On the flip side, one of my friends is a cybersecurity team leader without a degree, worked his way up through companies, and now he earns more money than I might ever see in my life. That's true. There's so many jobs out there that are, we're getting totally off tangent, so I'm answering questions, but there's so many jobs out there that are going to pay you six figures, and they're not degree driven. It's like apprenticeship or the trades, like being a plumber, like a roofer, like carpenter, like what? Like electrician, like all those things that are like actually in high demand right now because everyone's like worried about computers and IT and stuff. It's like, okay, we actually have like, what is it? Construction as well. Like, you know, those people who like fix the roads, you know how much money they're getting paid? Oh my goodness. They're getting like crazy money. Okay. Off this topic. Okay. Getting back to getting jobs. Okay. So, film job webs, we talk about that. So emailing, messaging people you want to become. Now this one is scary for a lot of people. I get it. This is scary for a lot of folks out there. I know. I had nothing to lose when I was just starting out. So I emailed and messaged everyone I could. And I probably should have put it on this, put it on the screen. I put it like the emailing I did. And I finally got a lead, and someone was like, go to this building, do this thing, get your resume, pass the resume out. If you get it in someone's hand, even better. And that is like the reason why I got into this industry, is because I listened to somebody, but I emailed like 1,000 people, probably more like 500 people. I emailed like 500 people when I first got to New York. Every day I would just email like 20 more people, 20 more people, 20 more people, 10 more people, a couple more people. So when I wasn't working, it was like my job when I wasn't working was to reach out to people who worked in film just for anything. Like, hey, I'm new to New York. I'm trying to be a day player PA, willing to learn. Here's my resume. Real quick email. And someone finally said something. And I got a lot of like, hey, I'm not in New York anymore. Or, you know, I don't work in the film industry anymore. And like some answers were like that. So some I just didn't get replied to, and that's fine. But also like, I had to keep doing it. And also like right now, so many people are on social media and they'll take your DMs, like just reach out to people. If you find someone that's like a script supervisor, like, yes, oh my goodness, like you seem pretty dope. I want to be a script supervisor. What do you think? What did you do? This and that. Also like, just look at like, just really willing to have a conversation with anyone, and not just to get a job, but to learn, genuinely just learn. Am I just saying something scary? This wasn't as scary for me. Yes, this is very, very true. It is very scary, but here's the thing. It's like you have nothing to lose, and know this. Know that the worst that can happen is that say, don't email me anymore. Don't message me anymore. Or they just ignore you, which sometimes some people would debate that the ignoring is harder than being told no or go away or leave me alone. I never got anything that was hostile. So I just, most of it was like no one replied to me, but then the one person that was like willing to help me changed my life. So you never know, like, and I didn't stop. Just like persistence is key, folks. And I tell everyone this, nothing is going to be instant. It's going to be a long, slow, uphill battle. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that is the reality. It is definitely the reality. And you're going to have like, it's going to be like ebbs and flow where like, yes, one year is going to be great. Next year it's not going to be so great. The next year it's going to be amazing, or it's going to go up and down for you. And it's just, no, it's not like straight to the top. I'm sorry. There's just, that happens to like less than 1% of the people in this world. New York 411, I think is a resource you told me about, but also LinkedIn. I just don't want to sound corporate, boring if I just write someone an email. So here's the thing, is that, Amanda, there are ways to write emails. Be personable. Show your personality. And I get emails every now and then, people who are looking for jobs, or people who find me on Beyond Film School, find me through my website or my YouTube channel or whatever, and they're like, this is my resume, I'm just trying to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, they're talking to me as if they're a real person. They sent me their stuff. They want me to look it over, whatever. People who are just themselves and their authentic selves, and I can tell through the words that they're using in their email or their message, I can tell they're being a person. I appreciate that a whole lot more. Even if they make mistakes, I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate the hustle. I appreciate the grind. You know what I mean? I appreciate that they're reaching out and they're fighting for their time to get on set. They're fighting for the opportunity. I appreciate that so much. But then you get other emails that are very formal, and I hate it. I'm just like, why are you being a robot? Please show him, like, hi, Amber, I am this, and this, and I am from blah, 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 and I would like to blah, 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 and this is my resume, and if you couldn't, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, that's just, they're not showing me anything but a robot, and that, I can't do it. Like, I'm like, okay, so can you show me yourself? And that's the thing with film. I feel like we want to know your personality more than just this corporate structure. Like, get away from suburbia, get away from the corporate structure, be yourself. Because I promise you, if you are your authentic self, you will go further faster. Okay, ending the stream right here. But I really, really mean that. It's like, if you are your authentic self and you can show that in the email and just be like, you know, hey, like, sometimes people can be, and I know that there's an argument to be made where people get too comfortable or they're too relaxed, or like, hey, this is my resume, just want you to look at it. Okay, that's a little bit too bare minimum, right? That's probably not enough. Where for me, it was like, hello, so I got your email. I would tell them where I got their email from. Like, first of all, like, that's also kind of a good tip to put in there. Like, how do you get this email? How did you find out about me? Why are you emailing me? It's like, I got your email from so-and-so, and I found you to be this, and this, and I would really like your guidance in this, or whatever. Like, it's just, be honest. How'd you get their information? Why are you seeking them out? Why do you want their opinion? Why do you want their advice? What are you trying to get? Like, are you trying to get help? Are you trying to get a job? Because also, I feel like it's more than just looking for a job, right? It's like advice. Look for that advice. Look for something to learn. Like, look for something to learn from, rather than just like the means to an end. You know what I mean? Okay. So, Amber, one of my nitpicks has to do with agencies that are so picky about getting new clients. For example, XYZ agency will not talk with you unless you know one of their clients or are established. That is very true. But the agencies are corporate. So this is like where the corporate and like the film world come together, unfortunately. It's like the agencies and managers. And I hate it. I don't like it either, and it's very, very annoying. Oh, I missed Michael. I plan to shoot a short film or participate in shooting, but have problem getting friends on this. Are there any meetups or like groups that people gather to shoot? So Michael, I get your image, your little icon is funny. I'm like Burger King. Sorry. I don't know why that's making me laugh. I apologize. But Michael, so to go on Facebook, find the groups in your area. I don't know where you're from. I'm hungry. Sorry, it's making me laugh. Sorry. Yeah, so go on Facebook. So I talked about Facebook groups earlier. So if you missed that, definitely hit it up in the replay. It was at the beginning of the podcast, or beginning of the stream, where I talk about Facebook groups. Go on Facebook groups. Go on meetup.com, whatever. There going to have groups out there that are going to want to help you make something. I don't know what area you're in, but definitely look into your area. Go film production plus your city search, and you're going to find something. You're going to find something, or something close by. Let's see what we got here. Graduate of University of St. Louis in Madrid. Went to work Italian students that then MJR studio, still here now, a PhD candidate finishing thesis on. That's great. Man, kudos to anyone doing their thesis, because I don't ever want to do that. I managed to finally get a placement instead of writing a dissertation for next year. That's amazing. Joe was this in 2011. Yeah, Production Hub, yes. Alyssa Knight. So, thanks for everyone offering all this good stuff in this chat. I am very, very happy about this. This is amazing. So, do not be afraid to email people. Be yourself in the messages. But also, if they don't reply to you, you're going to take that as you're going to take the L. You're going to take the L. Move on to the next person. And a lot of times, if you don't get an answer, some people want to keep emailing or don't stalk them and don't spam them. And also, for another thing, in the Facebook groups that I did not mention is, don't spam those groups. Do not. And I know the grind is real. So it is very, very tempting to go into those groups and be like, hi, I'm a production assistant that just moved here and I'm looking for work. I have this, this, and this, and I've done this, this, and this. Would love to work with you guys. Here's my resume. Email me here. All you're doing is annoying the group. That is spamming the group. Don't do it. Just wait for the job post to come in. Don't spam people in the group. Don't spam people as far as messaging, DMing, or emailing. And if they don't answer you back, take the L, move on, okay? Because that you're gonna get a lot of no's or a lot of people ignoring you. So just letting you know. Sorry, I'm gonna go Mordecai. Let's see. I'm gonna look at your question real quick since I'm done with getting film jobs here at this list here. In the process of starting production in a few months, do I need to open a corporation or for my production company? Or usually, sometimes you can do an LLC, a limited liability. You can just do an LLC to do that. You could do a sole proprietorship. It depends on what your production is. But sole proprietorship means, and this is, okay, first of all, I am not a lawyer. I am not a CPA. I'm not an accountant, a tax person, or whatever. But this is just basics of what I know, and you can probably find it on irs.gov, okay? So if you are a sole proprietor, you are going to take on that responsibility that someone can sue you if something happens. You're taking on that liability. So a sole proprietorship is when you are combining you and your business and you're just like this one. And please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure. But a sole proprietorship is like you are taking on that risk that someone can sue you and your personal assets. So if you are doing an LLC, then you are separating those assets and whatever happens with that company, and you're separating from your personal assets and your person, you're kind of separating the two. So if you're doing a production in a few months, I would not do a sole proprietorship. I mean, I would open up an LLC. That's what I would do if I was shooting a movie, because also what you have to keep in mind is that you need insurance, you need all these things for equipment and whatever. I don't know how big your production is going to be though. So thanks for asking that question. It's a good question. So Amanda, I've been in Facebook groups that people when post directions or for applicants, a lot of users comment when the person says email your, yeah, exactly. So I see it all the time. I still see it. And just like grown adults, people just read. I mean, I got an email the other day asking about something they saw in a newsletter, and the first sentence explains what they were asking. And I was like, well, I guess I just didn't read. Mordecai, yes. If you want to get underwriting payroll works, yeah. So yes, you need to do it correctly. So yeah, sole proprietorship is not the way to go if you're going to do a production. Just, there's a whole, you don't want that. Yeah, basically, Joe, you're right. So if you go sole proprietorship, someone gets hurt on set, they sue you, you lose your job. That is facts. Facts. You don't want, okay, good. I'm glad people are yes, they're aligning. Okay. So just to give you an idea of what is filming in the US right now. It's looking pretty grim. So I gave you the normal way of getting into film, but now this is what we're dealing with. This is the state of things. In LA, there's about 4 shows shooting with 1 to start in August. Now they have some slated for August. For whatever reason, August 1st seems to be a very popular start date for some people. And that is not necessarily production shooting, but like prep would start. So it just depends. New Jersey, there's 1 show. There's like 1 show. And I had to edit this because someone recently told me that the other show, there was 2 shows shooting in New Jersey. 1 show got shut down just yesterday. Or just this past weekend, or Friday. So they got shut down because the picketers were out there and the Teamsters refused to cross the picket line, so that show got shut down. And they lasted a while, they really did. And let me tell you, they got some tricks, okay? And we could talk about some of the tricks that people are using to avoid the picketers, but are trying to get around it, which I find absolutely hilarious. So there's like 1 show shooting in New Jersey, 1 show starting in August. New York City is 3 shows to shoot to start in August. So to give you the perspective, and now these are not your independent stuff. This is not your commercials. This is scripted TV and film, right? Union scripted TV and film. This is not your like, reality, whatever. This is not talking about daytime television, nighttime, like even though nighttime TVs, or what is it called? The nighttime talk shows or whatever, like your, Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, all the Jimmys, like they're definitely shut down. But variety television shows are also shut down. So like we're not talking about reality TV, we're not talking about documentary, we're not talking about any of that stuff. So this is your union scripted shows, TV and movies. Okay, so normally there's like 80 shows shooting in New Jersey and New York combined, and normally there's like 100 shows shooting in Los Angeles or the Southern California area. Atlanta has like 30 shows shooting usually. So Chicago's also another one. Sometimes there's like 20 shows, 25, 30 shows in Chicago. So it's looking pretty grim. I just want you to know. And I did Alyssa Knight, I know that, so you're Las Vegas. So I didn't add Albuquerque. So Albuquerque also, from what I saw, had about 4 shows shooting. I didn't look too close at the dates, but they're still, I feel like they're doing better than some other cities, actually. Funny enough, but that's good that Las Vegas is shooting something. So it's not a lot. And Atlanta, 3 shows, 1 show to start in July. And those 3 shows, I think 2 of the shows that are in Atlanta right now are Tyler Perry productions. So there's that. And there's literally just 1 show shooting in Chicago. It's not good. Okay, so Daredevil gets shut down every time they film throughout the strike. Every time, well, usually when you get shut down, maybe pause production, because shut down means shut down. Like shut down means done. So I know that Daredevil, I wasn't sure about Daredevil, but I know that they're on and off in a weird way. I don't know. 1 franchise FBI scripted already written. Okay, Alaska, 0 shows. Yes, there's no shows. It's pretty sad. Okay, and also Louisiana, there's nothing shooting in Louisiana. There is nothing, there's like just nothing. Someone told me that the Clint Eastwood movie is somewhere in North Carolina, is shooting for a couple weeks. And I imagine Clint Eastwood doesn't give an F if he writes any of these words. Not to talk shit about Clint Eastwood, but okay, so we talked about this a little bit in the beginning. This is the state of the deals, where we are. You're right, 53, 54. We're in the 50s, guys. We're in the thick of it. We're hopefully not at a halfway point. Maybe we're 3/4 of the way there. I don't know. Hopefully it ends soon. They have not resumed talks. DJ, we've ratified the deal. The SAG, they're still in negotiations. They have the ability to strike, but Fran Drescher says it's looking good. So who knows? I don't know. Who knows? But they said that at the beginning of the writers' negotiations. So I'm saying, I don't know. Who knows? So here, I wanted to map out other types of jobs outside of union scripted projects. There's commercials. Now, independent feature films are still shooting independent. So if the SAG if the actors go on strike, then pretty much nothing can go on strike. But I've been seeing articles where like certain independent feature films will get waivers and they'll be able to shoot if SAG goes on strike, which I'm like, what? Why would you even do that? I don't know. So student projects, yes, those are still shooting. Independent short films. This is anything. This is like anyone doing anything. Documentary, music videos, reality TV, all of these things are still happening and not affected. So reality TV is definitely going to be amped up. Just want you to know. The reality TV is... No, Obi-Wan, no. We can't say halfway there. We can't say halfway there. I will not accept this. I want to say halfway there, because if we go, say 50 more days, 3 more months, so it's like, so we have June, July, August. So that does bring us to like September, which is, oh God, okay. Obi-Wan Martin, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Rebecca, any tips on making a solo documentary but student budget, have a location ready? Okay, so Aaron, I need a little bit more. I want to answer this question, Aaron, Rebecca. I would love to answer this question. I just need a little bit more. I need you to elaborate, because I can give you some tips, but I need a certain direction here. You know what I mean? I need direction. I just need a little bit more so I can give you some advice on that. So these are the types of things that are shooting all around. They're still happening. I still see posts for all types of stuff. So there's still work out there. There's still, it's not, it's pretty grim as far as scripted projects, but still work out there. I don't want to be like completely negative here because, it is pretty grim, but also because I gave you the state of the shows. It's like, not a lot of things happening, but there's still all this stuff, you can gain some skills in all these things. I could be an AD on any of these things. Well, except for documentary. Do they have, yeah, they do have documentary, right? They have like ADs on documentary. I don't know. I've never really shot any documentary stuff outside of like, not anything big. I will say I've done my own documentary stuff, but I've never like been like that high level documentary stuff. So, I'm definitely going to jump into other things you can do than worry about getting film jobs. So we're going to get into that really quick. So I never, any tips on, yeah, Aaron, yes, feed your crew well. It goes on. This is very true. Ruben, yes, you know what? I wanted more details, but he went bare bones. He was like, yo, just feed your crew. It goes a long way. That's very true. Just make sure they're fed, like basics, water, proper food, goes a real long way. Trust me on that. I never got into any reality shows. If someone wanted to make a reality show about me, it would not last after the. We are currently at that stage. Then the last. Oh yeah. Okay. Good. I was like, don't say that. But yes, we're from the last strike was 100 days. We're more than halfway. So hopefully that is not the halfway point for us. Going solely on a documentary project for my final year, going to hire the right crew and make it right. It's my personal story about my life growing up with a disability. Okay, so that's awesome that you're going to do that. I have so many different tips that are like coming back to me now as far as like making sure there's an outline and you're written it out and all that stuff. Curiel, okay, he is not from Texas. Curiel, hello. Thank you for doing the chat. Now he's going to exit out because he just pops in, says hi, and that's it. Okay, so people are going to be like, Amber, you're ridiculous for offering these things up. Now, what I will say, I'm going to put my chair up a little bit. Okay, I feel like I'm a little low. Okay. And I feel like this is very, very important. Now, there are so many people who are out here worried about getting jobs, worried about what am I going to do? Now, when I was at the DGA meeting the other night and meeting some ADs I've worked with, and I haven't seen them in a while, and a lot of them are suffering through this time of not working. And they kind of internalize, is it me? How come I wasn't one of the top ADs, or I wasn't one of the top people to get hired on the select few of the productions that are shooting? And they're like, is something wrong with me? No, there's nothing wrong with you. First of all, let's get that out of the way. But there's a lot of like, what did I do wrong? How come I'm not on this job, right? Now, and it's not that certain ADs don't have enough money to get through this period. What's happening is with all, and I feel like in any position in film, we get really obsessed with trying to find the next job because we are freelance. Now, we may be working for NBC for 9 months, but after that show is ended and that season is wrapped, we're looking for our next job. There's no security. We are always looking for the next job. So there's always that job anxiety, that job security that isn't there all the time. Yes, we make enough to sustain ourselves, but what happens is that when we're not on a job, it becomes our job to look for a job. Okay? So, and what happens when you're just obsessing over getting a job, you forget the things that make you a person, the things that you like doing. You forget that you may have hobbies. You forget that you may have liked photography or liked to play basketball, or you forget that you have family members you haven't seen in months. Because when you are on a job, you are working 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 hours a day. And all you have time is for sleep, shower, if you're lucky, okay? So you are not reading, you're not, playing video games, you're not doing the things that make you happy, or you're not pursuing the hobbies that make you feel like a person. You're not doing anything that you enjoy. Yes, I enjoy my job. I enjoy being an AD so much. I love building a team. I love empowering PAs. I love when I get to train them and they pick it up and they improve. I love that. But also I love Beyond Film School. I love making YouTube videos. I love doing this live stream. I love going to the park, and I love running, and I love playing tennis and all this other stuff. And I love reading, right? So I have always, from the start of my career, have always tried to figure out how to balance my regular life and my AD life. My film life and my regular Amber at home life, like having time to cook. Yes, I do cook. Really don't bake, because if I bake, I'm just going to eat all the cinnamon rolls that I bake in one night. I'm going to eat them all, and I can't do that because then I will gain a lot of weight. So doing the things that you love is very, very important. And what's happening is that people are so they're so depressed because they're not being utilized, because they don't feel worthy, because they're not working, and they're like, what am I doing? And they're afraid to go on vacation, because if there's no job prospects, they don't want to spend the money to go on vacation. So they're at home, and it's like very rare for them to be like, let's just enjoy the time, And I know that people are very anxious about this. So definitely making sure you set the foundation when you get into film. And this is people who are just starting out. Make sure you establish that work-life balance where it's like, yes, this is what I love to do as a person outside of film. I mean, maybe you are someone that, does props on a union set, but then you're writing a script on the side. Writing makes you happy. You do an hour every day or whatever it is. Or maybe you're writing a novel on the weekends, or whatever it is. There has to be a divide. I don't care how much you enjoy film. I always have to step away after having a couple of months on a gig. I'm like, okay, we're going on vacation. I'm going to, make sure I, run on the weekends. And people would always make fun of me, especially season 1 of The Equalizer, because I was so involved in Beyond Film School and building up Beyond Film School and working on my website and working on my videos. And they're like, oh, Amber, what did you do this weekend? Because I try to make the most of my time. I don't want to just spend my time on the weekends doing absolutely nothing, just watching Netflix and sleeping. I want to go and I want to read. I want to go out. I want to see my friends. I want to see my family. I want to work out. I want to go for a run. I want to do all the things that make me feel whole. So by Monday, I am rested, but I also feel replenished soul-wise, right? You have to do the things that make you happy to get through that hard week. Because listen, I have time that I am grateful to be on set. I am happy to be on set, but also I have times where I just want to slap people. And I have no patience. And I'm like, I cannot do this today. I have those days. Everyone has them, because the stress builds. You lose sleep. You forget to drink water. You forget to eat vegetables or eat, period. So I get it. So one of the things is establishing that foundation, but also when you are worried about getting a job, we can use this time. And this is very, very eerily similar to what happened to us during the lockdown. We couldn't go back to work for 7-8 months or whatever it was. I mean, I was seven months until I got back to work. And I utilized that time to work on myself. Why am I angry all the time? I don't know. Let's figure this out. Let's dig deep. Let's, do some journaling and digging deep into whatever problems we have and raise awareness to whatever issues I'm ignoring and all that stuff. Work on yourself. Use this time to work on yourself, whatever it is. Maybe you have anxiety. Maybe you are you are socially awkward. Maybe, I don't know, there are so many different things. Maybe you're impatient. Maybe you have ADHD and you want to learn different practices on how to lessen your anxiety or focus on certain, who knows? I don't know. Everyone has their own issues that they can work on. So this is a very, very good time. Instead of worrying about the job right now, work on yourself. This is also a really good time to network, because while we're out of work and it's not the pandemic and we can actually see people and hang out with people and do things with people and be social beings, which is amazing, and I'm very, very grateful, is that you can network. Expand your circle. Get to know people while you can, because this is a real good time to do that, because no one is working. And because no one's working, everyone's willing to do, let's go to the bar. Let's have lunch. Let's do that coffee date, because I ain't got nothing better to do. So I set up so many meetings. So I created the film challenge that I wanted to create for Beyond Film School. And I had a lot of meetings and a lot of people, and I did them in person. I had to get my team leaders in place for the challenge to, guide the teams. And Everyone was like willing to, there was no runaround. It was like, this is great. Like I had time to meet these people in person, people that I admire, that I need advice from, that I was like, yes, your opinion is valid to me. And I was able to reinforce some connections of people I haven't seen in a while. Networking, go to those networking events. What else do you have to do? What else are you doing like on a Thursday night? You know what I mean? And it's also like networking as far as like you can go and take that extra script writing course or whatever it is. That can work as both working on yourself and networking. The next one no one likes. No one likes working on their resume. I get it. No one likes working on the resume. But you all have done this. You've done like 5, 6, 7, 10 jobs, and your resume is definitely like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old. Take your resume out, dust it off, do a deep search into your Google Drive or your iCloud or whatever it is, look for your resume and work on it. Spend a day, spend a couple hours, maybe an hour each day. Do something and just work on your resume because you have the time now to do it. And when the jobs come back, you are going to be ready to give out a nice, fresh, nicely, aesthetically pleasing, organized resume. And I have emphasis on aesthetically pleasing. Make sure your resume is pretty, just saying. And make sure it's 1 page only. Just quick tips for your resume. But work on your resume. You have the time. You literally have the time. Okay? Another thing is get things done that you haven't. And I say that for the people who, maybe I was thinking maybe too much of myself, because there are things in Beyond Film School that I'm like, I haven't gotten to yet. Like I probably should. Like, maybe I should make that video that I wrote like 2 months ago and I haven't shot it yet. So things that you've just been sitting on that are like ready to go and you just haven't followed through on it. Or maybe you're procrastinating on something that, if I had more time, I would have did it. Well, now you have the time. Do it. And I also will advocate for you doing something outside of film. And this might mean getting a different job. When I was a barista back when I was day playing as a set PA, I also was a tour director. I did those student tours where you would like go to Washington D.C. and like, this is the FDR Memorial and it's in 4 stages and this is him and staring at his dog and then like, oh, here's the Washington Monument. Like I did those types of tours with students, and they would come, like I would do them like they'd be like a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. So I had different jobs. So like sometimes it would fall into those slow seasons where I might be on a whole TV season for 8 months, but then once that season was over, I knew we were going to wrap in April. So I got hired like on certain tours, and I would like book tours with certain companies where I knew work would be slow in like May. So I did something outside of film because like I have other interests. I love traveling and I love history. So like I need to expand my brain sometimes and not worry about film. Do something other than film. It's the summertime. I don't know, like work at a summer camp, do something other than film. Maybe you like working with kids. Maybe you want to like put on a mentor program for other people. Maybe you want to like, I don't know, go to like community groups or something. Maybe you want to volunteer somewhere. Do something else outside of film. Like get your mind off of it for a second. Also go on vacation. I know we can't go on vacation and all like that because we're trying to reserve money and all that, but like go weekend trip, day trips. Vacations are very, very important. Go somewhere fun that you enjoy. Get close to nature. Get out of the city, or go into the city if you're, doing the opposite. Do something fun. Go on vacation. And also focusing on family is very, very important because there's nothing worse than actually having the time to spend with your family, and you're with your family and all you're doing is being depressed that you're not on a film set. And you're just like, and your family's like, what the hell? Like, I know you want to work, but also like, how about maybe you do game night? Maybe you play cards. Maybe you are going to that, I don't know, what's happening in the summer that kids go to? I have no idea. I know there's like day camps and stuff, but I was like, maybe you go to a baseball game with your kids. I don't know. Maybe you make sure you take those weekly date nights with your partner. Focus on your family. Focus on your wife, your kids, your husband, whatever it is. Boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever it is. Focus on the family is very, very like so underrated. And I think that it really is such a sad thing because like I know a lot of people are going through it, but to be just sad that you're not working and just being like, oh, I really wish I was working. Like I get it. And I think also it starts with gratitude. I mean, that is something that really takes me out of dark places. Not to be like, not to get real serious and emotional and stuff, but like when I am in a spot of depression or sadness, I always start listing off all the things I am thankful for, even if it is for being thankful for my eyesight. The fact that I can see and that I can walk. Like, we're talking real basic. And I really practice this every day. I find something that I can be thankful for no matter what. Like, I am thankful that I have strong legs and I can run 7 miles. I am thankful that I can read. Like, it's just very, 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 very simple things. And these are definite things that you can work on and do while not working and just not worrying about getting that job. So I don't know if you guys have things. Definitely you can add them, and we're going to go to the chat to see what we got here. Hi, Gisela. How's it going? Hello. Let's see. You need to be a bit athletic to work on set. 118 pounds in a month is a lot, though. Whoa, I missed something. Okay, making the most of your time off with the hope of getting a job. I have found myself walking to lose the weight I gained over COVID, 18 pounds. That's amazing. That's really good. And this is something that I didn't even put. That is definitely something that is great, is working on your physical self, because there is so much food on set. It is ridiculous how much food that we get on set. And I tell my Set PA trainees all the time, there's so much food that you have to refrain yourself and limit yourself on what you eat. I eat breakfast and lunch, and that is it. I don't eat anything else on set. And then maybe before I go home, I have a banana or peanut butter or something, that wrap or something. But I cannot, because I will get fat. Hot food and all the junk food and all the crafty stuff all day long is just, you are going to gain so much weight. And there's so many carbs, and there's croissants and donuts and bagels. It's so, I'm gluten free, so I have a limited menu of the things I can't eat anyways. So, but man, if I'm eating all the junk food that's always offered, I'm going to gain weight. So that is something that is work on your physical self, get healthier, eat some more veggies, get some ginger in you, eat some avocado, some eggs. That's, my staples every day are avocados and eggs and sausage. That's literally all I eat every day. Okay, so I skipped a few. I'm not from Texas, but I'm here now. Okay, flying. Okay, so wait, you are in Texas, Kiro? No, you're not. Thanks to you all. I'm in Canada, so I'll have to figure out, since it's a bit different here. It is definitely different there, but I think, Mordecai, as far as you, I definitely would not do sole proprietorship, because you are gonna definitely put yourself, open yourself to certain lawsuits that you don't want if something happens. So just make sure you think about that. Making the most of your time up. Yes, down. So yes, Obi-Wan. Amazing that you've lost 18 pounds. So amazing. So, NPO. Amanda, I'm missing something. Hold on. You said something before. You said NPD. Wait. Oh, you need to be a bit, Ruben, Amber, don't slap people. I sat on a desk, witnessed something, went to court on a wrongful termination, ended up on 2 depots, retained a lawyer, and oh Jesus, and then I got terminated. Oh my God. Okay. Well, no, I know I won't. I really want to, but I don't. But it's good that I've managed my anger and why I'm angry all the time. But I'm a recovering person who's angry. I was always angry, but now I'm not anymore. So whatever I did during the pandemic has made my life has changed. Let's see. I'm in the process of that now, helping a friend from a podcast and planning it. That's really great, because I know, Amanda, you have a lot of experience with podcasts. If I added a podcast, oh my goodness, I don't even know. Some people are like, Amber, start a podcast. I'm like, I'm already doing all the things. How much do you want me to do? I know with the show I'm hoping to be on starting in August, I have 2 months to lose more, was 275, but I've been walking. That's great. That's amazing. Yo, kudos to you. Look up Carnival Cruises deals. Some deals go as those. Yo, that is true. Joe, I was just talking about the last minute cruise deals. I was just telling Rob about this. This is great. Gisela, this is so true. Purge your closet. That is such a good thing that you could do, because you can donate so much to the Goodwill or the Salvation Army. And I actually, since I moved last September, I donated a ton of stuff, since I was moving. But every month I kind of or I would say every couple of months, I'm like, okay, haven't worn this in a while. Like, I just go through and kind of sift out and try not to buy anything. I haven't bought anything in a while. I haven't bought any apparel in a long time. I bought a pair of sneakers that, like, one of them is very uncomfortable and I'm very upset. I can't do anything now because I ran in them. So I have a pair of sneakers that are, like, basically brand new. So annoying. Okay. I am on wipe number 5 and I'm doing everything today to avoid. Ruben, we are getting open and honest. And this is what we can do on Beyond Film School live streams. Be open and honest. You can even have your cast and crew sign their contracts in a rap book. Think of it as the nerve center of your studio. This is true. Yo, like, y'all have all these different conversations. This is amazing. Okay. Rage Cage. Yo, was thinking of making one for the Republic of Ireland because they don't have them down here. Yo, Obi-Wan Martin, if you could do that, that'd be great. You will be doing a service for everyone in your area because season 1 of The Equalizer, we did that. Everyone that was working on first team who's at base camp, we all went to a Rage Cage together and it definitely works. It definitely helps 100%. Joe, work on your giant Jenga game. So, okay. So if you guys follow Beyond Film School on Facebook, I don't know if I posted pictures, but when I do the Set PA training class, now what I've implemented is, and this will be the 3rd time this year, is I do a mixer for everyone afterwards because I noticed every training, what was happening is that everyone kind of wanted to still hang out. So I was like, all right, so we'll go hang out. I'll buy everyone drinks or whatever. We'll go to like the bar close by and I'll invite some industry friends so they can connect. They can talk to me, ask me any questions. The instructor or the guest speakers and other past alum will come and we go to this place in Astoria, Queens, and they have a giant Jenga game. And I love Jenga. I love it. I don't know why. It is very entertaining for me. So every time we do the mixer after the Set PA training class, I will always play the giant Jenga game. I will play it and I will beat everybody that plays it. Not sure what's going on, but chat isn't showing my first message. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see that first message either, Alyssa. I don't know. Only second message. Wonder if I got muted. No, I don't see anything coming up in my chat. So usually it'll come up in mine that something was flagged. So I don't see it coming up for some reason. So yeah, it's weird. I was like, what are the things you're talking about? But I mean, also, but yeah, rap book is like really good for that stuff. Wonder if it got muted somehow by the angles thinking on my bot posing those film markers early. Maybe, I have no idea. But I think you're showing up. Maybe we should make them compulsory on set. We just have like one little room and we just have like everyone could just book times. It'll be for free and we'll have stuff in there that is like props they don't need anymore or like wood that doesn't need to be. All right, so I just want to thank everyone. If anyone has any last minute questions, I've been on this stream for almost 2 hours. This has been, I hope, useful to everybody. I hope maybe it has shed some light on other ideas you can do. Be true to you. Maybe it has helped how to clear things up and how to like get into film or manage your stress during this very tough time for everyone in film. It's actually kind of tough. People are like really, I mean, I've definitely, since I have Beyond Film School, like I am 100% distracted by it through this time. And I'm like really trying to amp up a lot of the things that I want to do with Beyond Film School. So I am largely distracted by that. So if I didn't have Beyond Film School, I'd be like, really, I don't know what I'd be doing with my time. I mean, I went on a baseball road trip in May. I went to a baseball game on Tuesday. I'm doing a lot of baseball, guys. I'm going to a lot of games. Like, it's kind of great, but also if I didn't have Beyond Film School, I don't know what I'd be working on. But I do read every day. Try to run. I'm trying to make sure to get a marathon in, my first marathon this fall. So I'm trying to make sure to stay fit, to make sure I can actually achieve 26 miles, but because I want to make sure I can do a half mile in October and then hopefully in November do a marathon. I don't know. I mean, I've done half marathons, but yes. So we all have our own ways of getting through this, but I'm very, very grateful to have you here with me watching. You are part of this Beyond Film School community. Some things that are happening with Beyond Film School is my Set PA training is happening in August. I don't normally hold a third training in a year, but I am doing it this year. Why not because I'm not working. And the class is almost full, so there are a few spots left. So if you are interested in Set PA training in person in New York City, that is up there on beyondfilmschool.com, Set PA training. Just definitely look into it if you were looking to try and find an easier way to get into industry, learn some things, get to know me, because I am the main instructor. And also we have the industry little mixer afterwards. Also, I have the online Set PA training. If you are not from New York and you cannot do the in-person training, I have online training is to do at your own pace. It is there for you, ready, waiting, and you have access to all the information for a year, and you get a little dope certificate afterwards. If you you can download your little certificate once you're completed the course. So just that is up there for you. Also, I just opened applications for my first film challenge. It is short film challenge, the Beyond Film School short film challenge. I am very, very proud of what I've put together. Hopefully this is one of those moments where it's as an entrepreneur or as someone running a business, you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone and try something new. And this has been an idea that I've had for so long. I wanted to figure out a simulation or something to get people together on set into the positions they want to be in, and not just be set PAs, but be a director, producer, AD, script supervisor. And I finally figured out a little challenge that can implement my I don't know, it's like a dream come true. I love it. So that hopefully will be kicking off, and that's only if you are going to be a Beyond Film School alumni. So you have to be part of Beyond Film School. You have to either taken one of my classes to be eligible for that. Maybe next year, maybe I'll expand outside of Beyond Film School. Maybe you are, I don't know, a YouTube member, or I don't know what else. I have no idea. As far as how I'm going to expand it, we're going to see how the first year of the short film challenge goes, see how it goes from there, and then expand it. I have no idea. So I just want to thank everyone. That's it. I think that's all that there is for Beyond Film School. Also, stay on the lookout. I have another video as far as the production office. I'm going to be doing office PA. If you are a production secretary, please reach out to me. I need to find some production secretaries to interview. I would love to interview. It is going to be a whole. I didn't really talk about production secretaries at all, and they are, part of the office staff in the film production office. So I want to interview them. If you are out there and you know someone that is a production secretary, please contact me, beyondfilmschool@gmail.com. And I'm going to have more videos for that. And I am currently doing the script supervisor series. So I'm interviewing script supervisors, and that will be out in the next couple. I think maybe my first video might be out in July, maybe the end of July. So I'm working on interviewing script supervisors. So a lot of people are looking for information on script supervisors, and I'm very excited that I'm doing this. So that is it for now, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. Thank you for joining me. Oh my goodness, it's been 2 hours. So that is it for now, and I shall see you next time.